Hi, this is Kyra Wong from Pain Free Studio in Park City with some more offerings. There's a couple ways to use these exercises. I don't always do both sides and I don't always complete the sets and reps. So you may need to pause this video in between so that you can hold it for longer or complete the sets and reps. Watch it first and see the exercises and then watch it again and pause in between. I have yet to meet a posture therapist that doesn't think the position of the pelvis is one of the most important things in keeping people pain-free. The relationship between your butt muscles and your hip flexors and how that positions your pelvis is incredibly important. So this set is designed to lengthen the quad and hip flexor and activate your butt muscles, whether your butt muscles have gotten flabby from sitting at the computer too much or that you're just having short or tight hip flexors and so the butt muscles aren't able to activate in the way that they need to. First thing we're gonna do is come down onto the floor. I don't know about you, but I've been spending a lot of time rounded over my screen checking out all the information. So just to help open that space up, come down onto your mat, and you can do this in two ways. If you do this just as a kneeling groin stretch, leaving the leg on the ground, you're gonna get more of a hip flexor stretch. If you want to add some quad to it to get both of the hip flexor compartments, you can use a ball or the wall or hook your leg up over a chair or the couch to get both the front of the quad and up into the psoas. And hold this for about a minute. You can press your foot into the wall and tuck your tailbone, and that will increase the length of the quad that may be pulling your pelvis forward or out of alignment. Or possibly it's just not active enough and we need to change the position of your pelvis. Come on out of it. Now we're gonna use that length that we just created and find your butt muscles. So place your hands on a block or a chair. Grab something to squeeze, a couch pillow or something like that, and put it between your ankles. Do your best to get your pelvis in neutral. And I like to tell people that means the front of the hips and pubic bone, that's straight up and down, and that's close to being even from this front hip to the bony bump in the back. So feel where that is for you, and then squeeze the block with the inside of your feet. If your feet are a little bit everted or turned out to the side, squeezing with your big toes will also help bring the foot and ankle into better alignment all the way up the chain. Squeeze and release that, hold, feel both butt muscles activate. It's gonna turn the femur bone in the hip socket a little bit to that external rotation so the glutes can really activate, again, lengthening this whole front hip flexor compartment. 20 squeezes. And maybe 3 sets to really get them active here. Next, you're gonna come down onto your belly. Keep your block. Place your hands down on the floor. Tuck your front ribs underneath you so that you have a little rounding happening in the upper back. And then bend your knees. That's gonna pull that arch back into your back, especially if you have tight hip flexors. So you may need to press your pelvis down into the floor a bit again. Press your knees down, let your upper body relax, and then squeeze and release that block with your ankles once again. 3 sets of 20 also for this, holding for about 2 seconds, making sure that the squeeze at the ankles is generating the action all the way up into the glutes. Next, you're gonna set that down, roll onto your back. Put the bottom of your feet together, let your knees drop out to the side. That's gonna take the hip flexors a little bit out of this. Then press your feet down into the floor and lift your hips off the floor. You're gonna get a really good glute activation here. And if you're still having trouble getting one side active because one side of your hip is so tight, then this one should really do the ticket. Up and down, lift and lower, about 20 times. And then roll to your side for the next one. This one you have 2 options as well. You can do clamshells, which is gonna Keep the rest of your body stable, pelvis stable, low back stable. Lift the knee up high and lower it down. That's gonna externally rotate the leg bone using the deep six muscles in the back of your hip, also part of the glute compartment that needs to learn how to work to stabilize the leg bone, pelvis, and low back. If you're feeling strong here, you could press down in the floor with the bottom leg and lift, lifting your whole side body up off the floor, getting a little bit more core. Lift and lower. This will get your heart rate going up a little bit, and turn on those saggy butt muscles. Switch sides. Again, here's your option, and you could be down on the floor, but just remember, the tendency is to want to rock back when you do this. So lift the leg up without letting any movement happen anywhere else in your body. Just stabilization at your belly, lifting and lowering the leg. And again, if you're feeling strong, come up onto your elbow, get your shoulder into a good position, and then lift and lower up off the floor 20 times. Then we'll end keeping the body in neutral, coming down onto your back, putting the block between your knees, keeping your pelvis in neutral. So again, the hip bone to pubic bone stays level. There's a slight curve in your low back, and then tuck each shoulder blade underneath you. Then squeeze and release the block at your knees for 3 sets of 20. Squeeze and hold enough that you really feel that adductor come into play. My right one, for instance, takes a little longer to wake up than the left. Okay, that set should help lengthen the hip flexors and turn on those glute muscles that are so important, that have been not getting enough attention when you've been sitting in your chair staring at your computer for this time. Good luck. I hope this helps you understand your body a little better and move pain-free. See you next time.